Research will be shown at the Guild Theater in Albuquerque January 25th. For more information, visit our website. That's KRQE.com.
And Mark, just a mess out there tonight.
It is a rough go, and this is a storm that has really hammered central and now western sections of the state. That's going to continue tonight. Already have 4 inches of snow on the ground in Belen. More, especially Valencia County, places like Socorro, really going to be hit hard throughout the night tonight. Vaughn camera from the New Mexico DOT shows the road shutting down in and out of Vaughn, and you can see everybody just sitting there waiting for it to reopen with the snow flying in this area of the state. But this isn't even the hardest hit area. Up around Grants, a foot of snow on the ground already. And as you get down to the south, we're going to continue to see things build in there, not only throughout the night tonight, but throughout the day tomorrow. Right in the Albuquerque metro area, this has been a snow shadow deal where we've had the really gusty east winds, which have carved that hole out over the city. So still not much accumulation throughout the city, but as you get out to the west side and as you go up into Rio Rancho, 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground, could add definitely a few more beyond that. And down to the south, that heavy snow continues as well. A wider look at what's going on with this storm. Core of the storm is actually back over eastern Arizona, where we're just pumping the moisture up into very cold air. That's the big difference with this storm. Much colder than past storms. We're in the mid-20s in the Albuquerque area, so everything that's hitting the ground is sticking to the roads, going to make roads worse throughout the night tonight and throughout the day tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be another cold day. We have bands of snow stretching all the way across southeastern New Mexico, up through the Vaughn area, and of course central sections of the state, even the northern mountains. We've gotten some snow, but the core of this storm is going to turn a little bit, and I'll get into that in just one second. Winter storm warnings all across central and western sections. The only areas not under winter storm warnings, extreme eastern New Mexico and down over Otero County and up into the northwest plateau. Meanwhile, everybody else is under that warning. 25 degrees right now in the metro, but the east winds are starting to die down a little bit. Right now they're sustained at 14 miles an hour, and that could be key coming up. Teens across the northeast right now, down to the south, teens, 20s, 30s, and even some 40s hanging on in Alamogordo, but even the 40s will go away during the overnight hours. Wind gusts to 24 here in the metro area, 30 around the Clovis area. Now the snow hole was in full effect earlier this afternoon and early this evening as we saw those east winds come down the mountains and essentially rip apart the snow clouds with gusts up to 50 miles an hour. So the Albuquerque metro area basically got nothing. However, with the wind starting to die throughout the night, if that continues, we'll fill in the valley with some snow here during the overnight hours, and a few inches is definitely a possibility, more so as far as the heavy snow goes out to the west side, and we'll get into amounts on that in just one second. The core of the storm continues to churn over eastern Arizona right now. This will turn and head in through New Mexico throughout the day tomorrow, but the change in this storm over the past few hours and really about the past 12 to 18 hours has been that it's going a little farther to the west. That's taken the northern mountains out of the mix a little bit, but it's put the Continental Divide, I-40 around Grants, and the Gila right in the firing line for this storm. And as it turns across the south tomorrow, southeastern New Mexico is going to continue to get chances for snow, 2 to 4, maybe 6 inches across this area, and more than that over the Sacramento Mountains throughout the day tomorrow. So this thing is not done with this, probably won't be until early on Saturday. So let's go through each region and tell you exactly what we expect out of this storm. Northwest Plateau won't get much, an inch or two out of the storm, but watch the Divide and the San Juan Mountains for the heaviest snow. The Divide, we've already had 10 to 12 inches of snow. Definitely going to see a few more before this thing is done. Northern mountains, sort of seeing things steer away from this area, but still 5 to 6, 7 inches of snow still possible at resort level, heavy at times, and then things starting to calm down Friday into Saturday with very cold temperatures as well. Here in the metro, snow tonight. Now, the gusty east winds have definitely shadowed the metro area, but later on tonight, with those winds continuing to die, we could well fill in some snow here. So I think we're looking at around 6 inches or so out on the west side and up into Rio Rancho. 2 to 3 inches definitely possible along the valley floor. And as you get down into Valencia County, 6+ inches possible as well. Up over the north and east, not as much snow here, but a few inches possible. Bitter cold's the big story here, and got to watch I-25 and I-40 for tricky roads. We're already seeing that being shut down. Across the south, the big story tonight will be a changeover from mixes into heavy snow across the southern mountains first, and then the lowlands get into the snow. 2 to 6 inches possible in the lower elevations of the south, 6 to 10 possible, maybe even more up in the mountains. So this thing is a monster storm with a lot of cold air to work with. Teens and 20s across southern Colorado for tomorrow. You guys just have not been the focus of the storms lately, and that's no different in this particular storm. But as you get down into the northwest, the Grants of the world and areas along the Continental Divide have been crushed crushed by snow. That will continue to be a possibility, but as this storm continues to shoot east, things will calm down later on in the day tomorrow. South and west, heavy snow for the mountains. Snow essentially will start to change over from rain here over the next few hours across south central areas, and you guys will get your chance at the accumulating snow tomorrow. Southeast, same deal. Snow at times. Temperatures for the most part in the 30s, very difficult travel. North and east, just brutally cold temperatures. 26 for a high in Las Vegas, 25 in Mora, 29 in Springer. Some gusty winds as well. A few snow showers will remain possible, and periods of snow will remain possible over the northern mountains into tomorrow as well. Clearing on Saturday and Sunday. Down into the East Mountains here. 10 inches of snow across many areas of the East Mountains already. Could add a few more overnight tonight. You guys could be looking at some areas with 15, 16 inches of snow. Here along the valley floor, we could collect some of that snow overnight tonight. If the winds continue to die through tomorrow morning, there is the risk of snow, and then that starts to clear Saturday, Sunday. Quiet. Here we go. There you are.
That is some storm.
All right.
Mark, thank you.
Sports is next.